A blowout loss reveals how the Halos have destroyed the confidence of Jack Kochanowicz.
You are Locked On Angels, your daily Los Angeles Angels podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. The Angels put their least confident pitcher on the mound last night, and then they left him out there to dry with no hope, no encouragement, no adjustment in sight. And we've got 5 takeaways from that pathetic game last night. We're also going to talk about what happened after yesterday's discussion about Zach Neto and his future. Many everydayers wondered why he would even want to sign here. And so we're going to share 5 reasons plus 1 reason in segment 2. And then we're going to talk about what the O's are doing with their catchers that maybe the Angels need to consider doing as well. We'll share that in segment number 3. But before we get there, let's talk about our sponsor, Game Time. You can download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase.
Thanks for being here for this episode of Locked On Angels, where it's your team every day. You've got the Frisch Brothers here with you, a.k.a. the Super Halo Bros. My name is John, and that's my brother Mike.
And my name is Mike, and that's my brother John.
Hey, it's our 4th season as a host of Locked On Angels, talking Angels baseball with you every single Monday through Friday. Check us out wherever you listen to podcasts, on any podcast platform. Come on over to YouTube, get in the comments section, hit that like and subscribe button while you're here. We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on social media at Super Halo Bros and at Locked On Angels, wherever you like to social your medias. And come bowling with us at the 2nd annual Logan O'Hoppe All-Star Bowl. No laugh? No social your medias? You didn't like that one? Sunday, September 7th from 5 p.m. to 8:30 in Fountain Valley. We're helping support the YMCA of Orange County. Get your tickets by clicking the link in the episode description, and make sure you use the promo code HaloBros, all one word, for a little nice discount, and we'll see you there Sunday, September 7th.
I just didn't want to interrupt you. That's why I didn't laugh. And it wasn't funny last night, John, having to talk about this game was ridiculous, man. 20-3.
Yeah, how the heck do we have 5 takeaways? What do we
It's really all the same thing. First takeaway is the only hope in the game happened in the first inning. The Angels scored first with 2 outs, and it was great. Top of the first, Taylor Ward hits his 30th double, first player to 30 home runs and 30 doubles. Then Joe Adell follows with a double. It was his 16th of the year. It was a great start. Wow, 2 out, runs scored. Big hitters come through. This is fantastic. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Jack Kochanowicz is on the mound, and the great start immediately got erased, which leads us to our second takeaway. John, Jack Kochanowicz, can he hold a lead? Because I don't think that he can. I don't think that we've seen him. Whenever he's been given a lead early, he gives it right back.
Yeah, can't hold the lead and can't hold his bladder either, I guess you could say. He immediately gave up 3 runs, gave up runs in the bottom of the first. Big blow was a 3-run homer to Adolis Garcia. He threw it right down the heart of the plate, Mike, and he just cannot throw strikes. And then when he does, it's just a meatball over the plate. And here's the thing. His body language in this inning was terrible.
It was
so evident and indicative of his mentality out there on the mound. And you first noticed it when he made an error. Kochanowicz got Jock Peterson to ground out to first, and Oswald Peraza, who was playing first, got to it, threw it to Kochanowicz, maybe a little behind him, but the fact is Kochanowicz was looking for the bag and trying to catch the ball at the same time. He was covering first, and he dropped it. And then he just stood there, head back, eyes to the sky, big deep breaths, and he is not a confident kid up there, Mike. The Angels have done nothing to help him get his confidence back. Hey, how about you go to AAA? Hey, how about you come back up? Hey, we're going to send you down again. We're going to throw 2 bullpen games in place of you. Hey, why don't you come back up just because, you're one day more fresh than Caden Dana, right? Like, how much whiplash can you instill in this kid? Following the air, he hits a batter. Then he throws a pitch to the backstop. It bounced back toward the third baseline, and Kochanowicz just watched it happen. In fact, he threw it behind the hitter.
Yep.
And it was just more bad body language. Head back, looks to the sky, deep breaths. By the way, the Angels didn't have anyone throwing in the bullpen while this was going on. And then when the Rangers scored their 4th run, they went, "Oh, anybody Steve, you want to pitch today?
Yeah.
You want to go there? Fermin? Oh, Fermin. Yeah, let's get Fermin up, right?" And so, just hanging him out to dry. What's that song? Hang me out to dry, because that's what
Yeah.
they did to Kochanowicz in the first inning. 4 runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, a hit batter, and 36 pitches thrown for Jack Kochanowicz.
Yeah, third takeaway, John, is his second inning was almost as bad as his first inning. He gave up a single, followed by a walk, then a 3-run home run to Jock Peterson. He threw a changeup right down the middle, right in the middle of the zone. And, John, it was really sad to watch because this is not the guy that came up last year and pitched so well. Remember, 2 really bad starts in July, was sent down to fix things. Remember his interview. He was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to go work on that. I'll come back. And then when he comes back, he was great. He didn't have a start where he went less than 5 2/3. Only once did he give up 4 runs when he came back. He had 3 consecutive 7-inning starts in September. His ERA in August last year, 2.45. ERA in September, 3.03. And a lot less walks. This just doesn't feel like the same guy on the mound at all.
And remember when we talked about his starts last year, it was like, man, let him throw a complete game, because every time he came out of a game, it was like 7 innings pitched and 70 pitches, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like this quick, efficient stuff that he was doing. So he is just not the same guy. And as I mentioned before, our fourth takeaway, the Angels left him out to dry.
They did.
Mike, he gave up a 3rd home run in the top of the fourth, I should say. It was a 2-run home run to Corey Seager. This also came after Jack Kochanowicz walked a batter, and they really tried to get him through 4, but he just couldn't do it. So in total, 3 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 11 runs, 10 earned, 3 walks, and 3 home runs. His ERA went from 6.19 to 6.81, the second worst ERA in the majors. One of the few to give up 10 earned runs over the last few years, but there was a 10 earned run day from Griffin Canning last year. Is it a coincidence that this feels a lot like Griffin Canning issues up there? Like, man, this is crazy to me.
Yeah.
This is crazy what they've done to Jack Kochanowicz.
It's ridiculous on a couple of levels, just from the game perspective. The fact that they just left him out there. Are you not trying to win this game, Ray Montgomery? Are you not trying to win? Like, he has a terrible first inning. I get trying to get him through that first inning. I understand that. 4 runs, not insurmountable. You did score a run. It's 4-1. Things look manageable. But then in the second inning, when he gives up more runs like that, then he's done. You got to take him out. But they're just trying to pile innings. And that's what's so stupid about this team, because you're not trying to win. You're not trying to be competitive. You're just trying to get through these games. That's literally how they managed last night. And you were right. It was anybody in the bullpen? Who we got down there? We got somebody that is Chuck Finley down there, right?
Gooby, Gooby, you want to come out of the booth?
It was just outrageous. So from last night's perspective, I mean, it's another check in the box for me that Ray Montgomery is just mediocre as a manager.
What? Like, excuse me, what the hell are we doing when we have an off day today too? Like with the bullpen, like why is everybody sitting on the bench? Why do you have to get Kochanowicz through 4 innings when you have an off day and everybody could come off that out of the bullpen and pitch?
Yes.
And you have an off day today. What are we doing?
Yeah. And then from just a longer term perspective, they've ruined this kid's confidence.
Oh, 100%.
They've ruined his confidence. I mean, this guy has no confidence on the mound. Body language was terrible. They came out to talk to him, and what happened after they talked to him? He's still giving up home runs. He's still throwing meatballs. Like, this kid is
throwing behind the hitter. And
yes,
man, it's just like I would have yanked him 1 pitch into that at bat after he threw behind the guy, because it was like, all right, well, he's lost it. Like, literally, Mike, yips came across my mind. I was like, oh, he just got the yips. He's done. You know.
And that's what it felt like. And then to hear the decision making. Well, Caden Dana, he was only on 4 days rest, and Kochanowicz, this was his start, and so we should bring him up. Man, stop bringing up pitch to contact guys, because you don't know how to develop them.
Right.
He's got to work on some stuff. And then the bus ride back and forth, or the plane ride back and forth, and where are you and what are you doing? And I get he probably really wants to be in the majors. Everybody wants to be in the majors, but this is just outrageous how they've treated this guy, and that they haven't allowed him to develop. And why not go with Kade and Dana? If you put a limit on him, 4 innings, right? 4 innings, 5 innings. Let's see what he can do. If this was Kade and Dana last night, then it would be like, okay, well, yeah, he's still got a lot to work on, but
Yeah.
Jack Kochanowicz has not improved at all when they've sent him down. Even when they sent him down, John, his last start was not good. Still walking a lot of guys. Like nothing about that said, yeah, you know what? Let's bring back Cy Young Jack Kochanowicz and have him pitch for us. And I get that they needed a pitcher for today. So cool. Bring up somebody else. There's a handful of pitchers that you have down in the minor leagues. So bring up somebody else. Or maybe go sign one of the guys that are just floating out there right now and have them. I mean, you signed Johnny Cueto for crying out loud.
Eric Fetty got let go, and now he got picked up by somebody. Oh, the Brewers.
The Brewers. Yeah.
They're like, we'll fix him.
Yeah.
Like, look, I was looking up Adley Rutschman. He pitched on the 24th, so 4 days ago. But I'm like, you guys, you knew Tyler Anderson was having a baby, right?
Right.
Like, you couldn't have thought this through ahead of time. Maybe have Adley Rutschman skip a start, or Caden Dana skip a start down in the minor leagues so that you have somebody fresh to come up and do this. Also, like, don't get me wrong. I was a new dad back in December, so I know how difficult it is. Jose Soriano came back pretty quickly. Like, where's Tyler Anderson and all this? But again, it's like, you knew his wife was having a baby, right? Like, you didn't plan ahead for this one. So just insane. And I think the worst part about all of this, Mike, was our fifth takeaway.
Yeah.
Wasn't that funny?
Hey, he's it up, and Peraza's throwing, and Cavada's getting his first opportunity, and this is so much fun. And you know what? We just got to turn the page, and you know what? We got to flush this, and we just got to move on, right? You are 9 games under 500. The A's are creeping. The team that you have destroyed this year, they're creeping. You're going to be in last place again. And if you were in last place, but the young guys were playing and were pitching, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal because they're developing. But no, you're in last place because you got to have Renifo in there. You can't have Christian Moore in there too often because he's going to be here until 2030. And you got to have Yohan Moncada in there because he's got to, get some at bats because he's got to
be competitive.
Shut up, man. This is just like, what are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing? Exactly. What are we doing?
That's the first what the hell I've dropped on this podcast before. Thanks for making Sorry, kiddos. Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. Coming up, what are the Orioles doing with their catchers that the Angels may want to consider for their catchers? Well, they're not losing games 20-3, that's for sure. But it is a conversation worth having, and we'll talk about that coming right up.
Everydayers, you need to stop paying full price for gas and stop leaving money behind. You can get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. We need some upside. We don't have that with the Angels, but how about you download the Upside app right now from the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you can start earning cash at the pump today. Use our limited time promo code SEASON, and you're going to get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. And you can make up to $300 in a year just from buying gas that you already need for your car. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out at any time to your bank account, PayPal account, gift card, or Amazon, or other brands. And you can't let this offer pass you by. So download the free Upside app right now. And again, use our promo code SEASON for a limited time. You're going to get 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. One disclaimer, offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
This is Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. Hey, Locked On Podcast Network has put together a survey, and they want to hear from you to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. It's a chance to tell us what you like, what you don't like, and answer questions about our advertising. So go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the episode description, and we appreciate you helping us out.
John, you and I had a discussion about Zach Neto and his contract yesterday. We made some comparisons to previous players playing now and playing in the past, who he compares to. Great conversation. And then there was a lot of comments on YouTube specifically. And so if you're not over on YouTube, get over here today, make some comments, give us your thoughts. There were many everydayers that were asking the question that is legitimate and justified, and a question that comes up every single year. Why would anyone sign here? Specifically, why would Zach Neto re-sign here? And again, that narrative is justified. It's been the narrative for years. You and I have created 5 reasons. And I said at the top, we have 5 reasons plus 1. Here's what I'd like to do, John. I would like for you to start and give us the plus 1. Then we're going to talk about the 5. And then I want you to come back at the end of the 5. And then I want you to really give it to T-Bone and give us that plus 1 and remind us of that plus 1. So why don't you start with that plus 1?
Look at George giving it to T-Bone. Mike, I hate to break it to, the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Angels fans out there, but at the end of the day, it's about money.
Yes.
And it's not just about Zach Neto and money. It's about Major League Baseball players and money. And I will hammer home that point after we get through our first 5 reasons on why somebody like Neto would consider extending his time here in Anaheim.
Yeah. So here's reason number 1. This really is, and this is the worst segment to have after the loss last night.
Every time we have a segment like this, it's always after a loss.
Yes.
20-3, all this
But
crap.
It is a narrative changing season. And this is something that we've discussed on this show before. This is what needed to happen this year. Yeah, it's not a winning season, but it is a season where the team has really improved. Even Ron Washington said in his press conference that teams are respecting us. And I believe that. And I think that this team has really improved despite stupid managerial decisions by Ray Montgomery and some by Ron Washington, although I'd love to have him back now. I'm sorry for everything that I've ever said.
Sorry, Ron.
Yes. And that's really what's happening this year. Now, again, we're at the end of the year, we're going to take a step back and we're going to go, yeah, they got better, because they're not going to be a 63-99 team, hopefully, right? Like they still have 30 plus games, or 29 now, I think, games to play, but they're not going to be a 99 loss team. I think they're going to win at least maybe another 10 games possibly, but This is a narrative shifting season. And I think it's because of these great young players.
Somebody, I think it was I Dig Stuff in our YouTube comment said, every time John takes a dig at people for not believing in Joe Adell, we need to remind him that he said this team would make the playoffs. I said, no, not a dig at everybody, just Mike, just Michael.
Yeah.
But the truth is, if I was managing this team, I would have gotten them to the playoffs, Mike. That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
Not.
That's what you forgot to put in when you said that they were possibly going to make the playoff. You should have said, if they allowed me to manage the team.
Yeah, right. The caveat there.
Yes.
Now, okay, you mentioned it is a narrative shifting season, and a part of that is the fact that this young core has great potential. Neto, Kochanowicz, O'Hoppe, Adell, they've all shown that they're getting better. They've all been very clutch. Christian Moore has been clutch in late moments, and he's still developing. Of the 9 walk-offs the Angels have had this season, 6 have been hit by players 28 or younger. And you have to remember, when we talk about people who, why would they go to that team? Remember, we've discussed this before. The reason Seth Lugo went to the Royals was because when he was with the Padres and they were playing the Royals, he was looking around and he went, hey, this Royal team's not as bad as their 58-win record, right? Yeah. He was like, this is actually a pretty good team. What did he do? He went there, got those guys to the playoffs the very next year, right?
Yeah.
And they're still trying to fight for one this year, but who would have thought they would have swung from a 58-win season to getting into a wild card spot in 2024? And it's because of the fact that the Royals had something good going on despite their record, despite their issues, and it attracted somebody like Seth Lugo and even Michael Wacha, right? Yeah. They both wanted to be there and have a landing spot, and so that's how things turned out for them. Now, number 3 is this young team has the hunger, I guess you could say, Mike, and I want to be clear, hunger doesn't necessarily lead to wins, right? You can't quantify, oh, that's a hungry player, but it does lead to a drive to get better. And this young core wants 2 things. They want to win and they want to get better. At no point have we heard any of the young guys say, I don't really want to do that, right? The worst that we've heard is a guy like Jose Suarez say, I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, I thought I pitched pretty good. Or even Reed Detmers last year, right? Like, I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. And I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
It seems like he's had a mindset change. But when it comes to guys like Joe Adell, and Zach Neto and Logan O'Hoppe and Nolan Chano, those guys are always working to fix things that are wrong and always working to improve one way or another, whether it's offense, whether it's defense. And yeah, maybe the results aren't always there. I think Logan O'Hoppe is a good example of the results not quite being there, but he's still trying and he's working through it. And, how many interviews has he given and how many segments have we covered on the show of, well, Logan O'Hoppe moved his hands again, or, oh, he's trying a new stance behind, squat behind the dish, right? Like when he's catching. These guys have a hunger to win, and they do what it takes to improve, whether the results are there, whether they're not. They're still trying really hard, and that's important.
Yeah. Number 4, the culture is changing on this team. There's more people that are gritty than casual and lazy. Neto, Kochanowicz, gritty, wanting to win. Christian Moore, driving, pushing, trying to get better. I'm glad that they're getting rid of the lazy players. You mentioned Suarez. I'm glad he's gone. I'm going to be glad when Renjifo's gone because that guy is lazy.
What happened to that guy?
Doesn't seem like he helps this team at all. And I know that Ward, we've talked about it. He can be a bit lazy, but his offense does kind of compensate for his defense. And I like the I'll do anything that's necessary to win mindset. And it feels like this team really has that, which brings us to the 5th reason, John. And that's this. And we've said this on the show. I've said this on the show that good leaders want to build their own thing, not ride the coattails of another thing. And so when fans say, why would anyone want to sign here? Why would Neto want to come back? Because there's a difference between you and Zach Neto. There's a difference between those that are like, why would they, versus somebody that's like, I'm in. And that's the difference is this. One is a leader and one is not. Leaders see something that's broken and say, I want to fix it. You and I have had multiple shows where we've talked about if Artie sold. And when he was in the process of selling, you and I've talked about owners going, man, I would love to get my fingerprints on that. I would love to be able to build that. I get that Artie Moreno is a big, giant stopgap. I get that he gets in the way. But I think players can go, I would really love to build something with this young core here. That's what leaders do. So if you're somebody that said, why would anybody? I think that this is my pushback to you. It's because you're not a leader. And Zach Neto is a leader. Leaders want to go and build something. They want to correct something. John, I've built something that was broken. You've built something that was broken with the jobs that we've done. And that's what leaders do. And that's what I love about what's happening with the Angels is that they have leaders and they're excited to put their fingerprints on something. They're not Kevin Durant jumping to a different team, trying to win, right? They are going to build something here. Again, I get Artie gets in the way, but I really believe that Zach Neto and the others really want to build something beautiful here in Anaheim. Now, those are the 5 reasons. John, end the conversation by reminding us of the +1 and money.
Yeah. Well, the fact is when it comes to Major League Baseball players, I love the notion that, hey, they want to be part of a championship team. They want to go win. They want to do this. They want to do that. But here's the thing. It's always about the money. It has always been about the money. It will always be about the money. And that's not to say they need to give Neto a $300 million contract, right? But it's to be compensated well, to be compensated fairly. And a lot of these young players are starting to realize. We see it with guys like Roman Anthony, who just took his big contract with the Red Sox. Everybody went, oh my gosh, can you believe how much money he left on the table? He got $180 million, Mike. That's more money than you and I have ever seen in our lives.
Yeah.
And all of us together, right? And here's the thing. He's going to get paid for his good years as a young player because what happens after age 28, 29, 30, whenever Roman Anthony would have been a free agent? Nobody knows, right? Look at Mike Trout, right? Yep. Like who knew that he was going to get injured 4 years in a row when, at the time it was like, yeah, heck yeah, extend that guy. And so that's the thing here is when it comes to these young players, the culture is a lot different than it used to be. Now, people are still hitting free agency and they're getting that big contract to finish out their year where, take Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, for example. They joined the Rangers when the Rangers were awful. And the Rangers had something building, and they were fortunate enough to come out and win the World Series in 2023. But the back end of those contracts for Seager and Semien, it's going to be pretty rough, right? It's already been a little bit rough for Marcus Semien. But was it worth it for a World Series? Of course. But all that to say, it's kind of like ownership, teams, they're all kind of getting away from that. Hey, let's pay 10 years for, maybe 4 years of really good from this guy and then 6 years of suck, right? Albert Pujols comes to mind, right? Like that's the kind of contracts that ownership and teams are wanting to avoid. So it's better for guys to get paid now and get that money in hand. And that can happen with Zach Neto. If the Angels do the right thing and offer him something significant and worthwhile, money's going to be a big reason why he stays. And if he stays, then those other 5 reasons we brought up are going to have that much more of a factor in his decision moving forward.
There's nothing like catching baseball live, but actually getting tickets can be really, really frustrating. You're in a queue, you got login screens, there's surprise fees. Takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Game Time. It's an app that gives back the advantage to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and it's backed by the Game Time guarantee. You're always going to get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. And all the fees that are included, you're going to see it right up front. The price you pay is the price that you see. There's no secret hidden fees. And honestly, it's faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other ticketing agency. So download the Game Time app right now and create an account. Use our promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Again, download the Game Time app. LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase is the promo code. Swipe, tap, ticket, and go. Download the Game Time app today.
There's been a lot of talk this season about Logan O'Hoppe and the struggles he's having behind the plate and, the stretches he struggled as a hitter. Only hit his 19th home run just the other night after hitting 18 in bunches, right? Before that. And the conversation has focused on sending him down so that he can work on a few things. Now, in the past, we've compared O'Hoppe and who he could be to Adley Rutschman of the Orioles. Adley had 3 very good years with Baltimore. However, he's had a rough stretch this year. I mean, they've all kind of had a rough stretch in Baltimore, but the truth is that Adley's been injured, so that hampered his numbers. But also, it looks like he might be getting replaced, Mike, because Samuel Basallo, the O's rookie catcher, might just be taking Rutschman's place. And then came this report last weekend that Adley Rutschman might be moved off the team entirely next season, possibly a trade in the offseason. At least there's been talk of moving him to first base. The Orioles GM said it's a luxury to have 2 catchers on the team, and we'll continue doing that moving forward. Now, why would we bring this up in comparison to Logan O'Hoppe, Mike?
Well, Adley's been our standard for what a young Logan O'Hoppe could become. And I know that they're not too far behind each other, but you did a great show and a great comparison earlier this year with Adley and with Logan. But that standard it's changed due to injuries and lack of production. And because of those things, the O's have brought up the next possible star catcher who, at the very least, maybe will platoon with Rutschman, which brings us to this question. With Logan O'Hoppe's struggles, how do you help solve that? Is the Orioles process the best way forward, partnering him with another catcher like the Angels are doing with Travis d'Arnaud, but they obviously have a young catcher. We've got an older veteran catcher because we have a young guy that's developing. Or do we just need to treat this as, hey, this is a bump in the road for Logan? Remember, this is his second real full season because his first year he was hurt and last year he struggled a bit. And then this year he's trying to figure some things out and needing to grow. He's really regressed. So what do you think this is? And what do you think the best way forward is, John?
Yeah, I think that, we've said it before, drinking from a fire hose for Logan O'Hoppe. He's somebody that really wants to learn. He's somebody who's really trying to grow and do things right. But he's got a ton of voices telling him how to catch, right? Hey, try being on one knee, right? Oh, maybe you do a traditional catcher squat, right? Oh, maybe go back to the one knee thing. Here, Travis d'Arnaud, why don't you help him become the best Angels catcher of all time, right? It's so much information. Oh, and by the way, figure out your struggles at the plate too. We need you to do this. We need you to do that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I don't know, Mike, he's 25 years old. I think he's overwhelmed with how much, and then you got to learn how to catch everybody, right? And he's not doing anything that other catchers can't and don't do.
Yeah.
But when you have a struggle in one area and you're trying to fix it, I think that kind of spills over into the other areas. So for me, I wonder if having somebody like, I don't know, Davalilo come up at some point and work in tandem with O'Hoppe, maybe after d'Arnaud is gone after next year. I don't know. It feels like they really had a lot of expectations for O'Hoppe this year, and d'Arnaud kind of emerged as, the better backstop, the better hitter, and all of those regards. But yeah, I just don't know if the answer is to have two young catchers like that.
Yeah.
Because then you're constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering about your job. I don't think that does anything good for these guys. It's like, give somebody the job if it's their job. On the other hand, maybe it incentivizes him to be better, but those are my thoughts. What about you?
I think consistency matters, and they haven't been really consistent with him and
Right.
his opportunities this year. And I think that it's just a rushed conversation to say, man, he's got to be sent down, or he's got to do
Adley
this.
rushed conversation.
Hey, it just feels rushed. It feels like, we're rushing this 25-year-old guy to be a 35-year-old veteran, and he's just not there yet. And he still has years in front of him. And so I think next year, this conversation is more poignant. I think it's more important because next year he's got 3 full seasons under his belt. If he regresses even more next year, man, then I think there's a conversation to be had. The Mike Napoli conversation of, what do we do with this guy? Do we move him to first base, or do we have him DH or something along those lines? But here's the reality is, the last time we had a really good defensive catcher was Jeff Mathis, but the guy couldn't hit at all.
Yeah.
But that kept him at the major league level, and that was great. I'd rather have an offensive guy that can catch and have maybe neutral numbers like Taylor Ward behind the plate. I would take that. And last year was kind of that year for Logan O'Hoppe. He was kind of neutral behind the plate. He wasn't showing off, wasn't lagging behind, right?
He wasn't as bad as he is this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of information. I think that he's really pressing himself, and he's 25 years old. I think you got to give him at least one more year. And why not? We talk about Logan O'Hoppe and this team as if they're like right in the middle of the playoff race. They're not, right?
Right.
And so why would we send him down? Let him learn at the major league level. I think that's fantastic. That's the mistake they made with Jack Kochanowicz. They're sending him down, moving him up, sending him down. They just don't make a decision. Make a decision with Logan O'Hoppe and stick to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to say, you brought up Mathis. Mathis would have like a 20-year career, right? Like, I know they already had a long career, but like if he had started a little bit later in his career, like he would have been like Martin Maldonado is now, where everybody trusts him behind the plate. And even though he can't hit more than 180, like he's on the freaking Padres, starting lineup. I know Maldonado's not there now, but like, that's just the kind of guy that he was. And so look, I get you want a good defensive catcher. But I also appreciate the offensive output that Logan O'Hoppe has been able to put up as well.
Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Angels on YouTube so you don't miss all of this great Halo content, including the postcast with Gavin Carlson. He's live after every game right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day.
Hey, be sure you give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On Angels and at Super Halo Bros on Twitter and Instagram. Whether you're watching or listening, come on over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, get in the comments section because we'd love to hear from you there. Mike, what do we have on deck for tomorrow's show?
Well, we want to hear from you. It's Fan Mail Friday. We would love for you to sound off, just like we got to sound off in that first segment. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on a Zach Neto extension, what sort of numbers you would present to him, and maybe even talk about Logan O'Hoppe and how you would help correct some of his regression this year. You can DM us, you can connect with us on YouTube, social media, or you can call us 714-409-6396. Leave us a 30-second voicemail. We'd love to hear the sultry sounds of your voice for Fan Mail Friday tomorrow on Locked On Angels.
All right, looking forward to that. Until then, my name is John, and that's my brother Mike.
And my name is Mike, and that's my brother John.
Thanks for being here, everybody, and we'll see you back here on Friday.
Hey, Jack, come here. No, go back. No, Jack, I need to talk. Jack, no,
go back, Jack.
Go back.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't just come back.
Come back.